Alright guys, let's talk about Spider-Man Far From Home, which just came out yesterday. And as a Spider-Man fan of the movies, I've always been a gigantic fan of all the Spider-Man films, especially starting out with the original Tobey Maguire ones, and then the Andrew Garfield ones, and then these Tom Holland-led ones. I have loved a majority of these Spider-Man films. So I was really excited about Far From Home, and especially after Endgame and what happened with Endgame at the very end, and how Peter Parker now is at a loss, and as a character, he's very broken. And I really think that's a great character progression for this version of Peter Parker. And the basic plot that I won't give away that you've seen in the trailers is that Peter Parker is going on vacation to Europe while Nick Fury recruits him and recruits this other guy, Mysterio, and they both are trying to stop these elementals. And that's all I'll give with the plot, because the plot really is easy to spoil, because I really didn't know much about this storyline that they've used parts of from the comics. I've read some Spider-Man comics, but I haven't read anything related to Mysterio, so I'm going to keep that spoiler free. But the thing I really appreciated about Far From Home was the fact that Peter Parker, again, is a broken character after Endgame, after Tony Stark being killed in a sacrifice to save the world. Peter Parker is now broken, and he is at odds with everybody, where everybody wants him to be the next the next leader of the Avengers. They want him to be the one that is the one that everybody will look up to. And I love the fact that this is a 16-year-old kid, and even says it in the dialogue that he doesn't want to be what Tony Stark was. He doesn't want to be this giant hero, because he is a 16-year-old kid. He has wants, he has needs. He really wants to be with MJ or Michelle in the movie, and everything keeps getting in the way with Nick Fury trying to get him to come back to try to help solve this thing with the elementals. And I really love the fact that this movie almost mirrors or parallels Homecoming, with how in Homecoming Peter Parker wanted to be a hero. He wanted to be an Avenger. He didn't want to have his normal life. And I love how in this movie it's the exact opposite. After Endgame, after the loss of Tony Stark, he is now wanting to just live a normal life. And I think that really worked, because you had that character progression for the first Spider-Man movie that he was in. And they did a fantastic job of building that up and doing the opposite in this movie, but it makes logical sense because this character is now broken, and I really appreciated that. And the thing I really loved about this movie, though, is that, besides that, this movie really does change your expectations for a superhero movie in terms of, the basic superhero movie plot. This has that. This has the basic structure of a superhero movie. But the way that they use, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but the way that they resolve everything in this movie is really, really cool. It's cool for a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to do this. The final act is really surprising at how unique and interesting it is for a superhero big action scene at the end. I thought that they did an interesting job in this movie's universe to do a different type of action scene at the end of the movie, and I really thought that it worked very well. And again, like I said, Tom Holland is still great as Spider-Man. He's so good in this movie, and he's getting even better, and I have appreciated and liked him in all of his movies, but he is getting better each time. And Jake Gyllenhaal is a great addition. This is so cool to see him in a Marvel movie. He's just a fantastic actor, and he's no exception here. He plays this role in a way that it works very, very well, and I really, really appreciated him being in this movie. And he was just a very great new character for the film. And again, his performance is great because he's such a great actor, and almost anything he's in, he can really sell me on it. So I really appreciated that too. Now, the only thing for me that's making this feel like I like it less than Homecoming, and not by much, by a little bit, is the side characters. They are fine. This, it, like for the first half of the movie, it's a lot of them just traveling around Europe, and they're just having a lot of wacky hijinks. And these characters are fine, but they're not characters that I love, like the Andrew Garfield films or even the Tobey Maguire ones. Like these characters, the side characters are fine, like Ned and Betty, and MJ. They're fine, but like they kind of just get too kooky in a way where it's like I don't know. Like I felt like I didn't care enough, and I'd rather watch characters from the Amazing Spider-Man movies or the original trilogy. And that might grow with time and like differently, but as of this first viewing, I was like they kind of were in it too much. And I don't want to even point that out as a negative, but man, it just they were in it a little too much, and I was a little annoyed because it is sometimes funny, but it felt like it was a little bit of a hit and miss as opposed to just like hits with the humor with these other side characters, which I thought were fine, but they weren't anything like I loved. So that's kind of a negative. Not really a negative, but it's like it's not like the best thing ever with these characters. They're totally fine, the side characters, but they're not anything that makes me go, "Wow, these are awesome characters." Like I never had a really as much of an attachment so far to these characters in these movies, besides Peter Parker and now MJ too. I like how MJ in this movie did get a lot more like more to do than just like being the one-liner girl in the first one, even though she was good in the first one. But and it makes sense because Liz was his love interest in the first movie, but in this one she is his love interest, and it works because they did build on it. And I did like their performances together, like their chemistry is good, and Zendaya is a good actress. I think that she's actually really good, and I've never heard any of her music. I know that she's a singer or musician, but like or not a musician, just a singer. But I've never heard any of her music, and I like how this person known for music is a good actress. I like her, and I appreciate her in this movie. Um, and besides that, I can't say anything else without spoiling it because this is a movie fully like containing spoilers. Like it's hard to describe anything, and I don't want to. I want people to go see this. But I will give you, without spoiling it, I will tell you that the first after credits scene was one of the best after credits scenes in any of these Marvel movies. It shocked me, and I was like, I felt horror, I felt humor, I felt excitement, like watching this ending credits scene, the first one out of the two. There's another one at the end, at the very end of the credits, of course, but there was a just an oh shit moment in this movie, and it worked incredibly well. I really, really enjoyed that, and I really, really liked that a lot. And the second in credit scene was fine. It was a big reveal too, and it was like, oh, okay, I did not expect the movie to do this too. And both of the in credit scenes did something that made you just go, what? Or oh shit, like that's surprising. And I really was, again, surprised that they went the route with those two in-credit scenes. So yeah, without spoiling it, the ending credit scenes are awesome. The movie overall is good. I do like the movie. The only thing that drags it down is a little bit just is the side characters sometimes. But they're not bad. They're not horrible at all. They're just fine. They're not. They're just not anything that are particularly memorable to me. But the chemistry with Peter Parker and with MJ and with Happy and with Mysterio, like those are great moments, and they really are great, and it really does feel like this movie is a different Spider-Man movie, and it is like I was on the edge of my seat at the end of the movie because of a thing they do, and it works so well. So this one has good characters, it has good action sequences, very visually different in terms of like I can't explain it, but you'll have to see the movie to understand. Visually, this is a different movie in a lot of ways than the other Marvel movies, and it's really cool in a weird way. So I appreciate that too. So overall, I did like Spider-Man Far From Home a lot. I think that it's good. I don't think it's my favorite Marvel movie, of course not. I think that there are a lot more. But if I had to rank it, I don't know where I'm going to put it. So I'll have to think about that. But as of now, Spider-Man Far From Home was a good movie, and I really did enjoy it. So that's my thoughts. If you like this video, check my links down below for Twitter, Patreon, Letterboxd, and my Facebook group, Horror Enthusiast 101. And tell me down below what you think of the movie. If you like the movie, if you dislike it, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to converse with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching.